Well, that's a nice series win for your Philadelphia Phillies over the Seattle Mariners. A nice quick game. I believe they said it was like a 2 hour and 4 minute game, so there you go for the pitch clock, making things go by a lot quicker. And especially when the offense was very quiet today, they did manage to get one run off of Kirby, who went the complete game for the Mariners today, and he still gets the loss, so you hate to see it there. But overall, this game, there were some stressful moments at the end. Definitely, a couple of runners on with the bullpen, but overall, your pitching was dominant today. Matt Strahm was fantastic, and your bullpen was really good. Really good. Really, really, really good. I definitely did question Rob Thompson for taking Matt Strahm out in the sixth inning, but I think at the end of the day, you do got to realize Strahm, he really hasn't pitched many innings in the past couple of seasons because he's been primarily used as a bullpen guy. And with all the injuries so far to start the season, he was asked to get into the starting rotation, and he probably has a couple of more starts left in him before he eventually does go back into his original role, which was supposed to be the bullpen, when Ranger Suarez comes back and everything like that. So I definitely understand that point. You don't want to overwork the guy, and especially when he goes back to the bullpen to where he's gassed and everything like that. So I can understand it from that aspect, but you're also thinking to yourself, Strahm was dealing. I don't care about third time through the order. He was just going out there and getting the job done. But that's just a nitpicky thing in that instance because at this point, this Phillies bullpen has been absolutely dominant over the past 2 weeks. It's been very dominant. Seranthony Dominguez has looked a lot better. Gregory Soto has looked really good. You even get some spurts in here from Connor Brogdon. Ortiz comes out of the bullpen. Jose Alvarado is as dominant as always. And Craig Kimbrell, man, I was, kind of nervous because we know the reputation of Craig Kimbrell over the past couple of seasons. But man, his past couple of appearances, the dude's been flat out gassing people, and he's just been going out there and dealing. Honestly, looks kind of nasty while doing it. And the velocity for Craig Kimbrell is surprisingly up. I know back in the day, he used to clock at least in the high 90s. Dude's out there throwing 97. I wasn't expecting that. And when he's going out there just mowing by people, honestly, should we be worried about Craig Kimbrell at this point? Even though, as the season goes along, he's going to have his rough points because at the end of the day, that's what Craig Kimbrell is. But man, over this last, couple of weeks for him as well, especially just with this Phillies bullpen, dude's been nasty. The bullpen's been nasty. And this is a huge win by the bullpen. Thanks a lot to the pitching. And your only run comes in from, Cody Clemens out of all people. Nick Castellanos running on the pitch. Cody Clemens bloops one into the outfield. And Nick just keeps on running. He keeps on running. And he's safe at home. The Seattle Mariners defense can't do anything about it. And that's basically it from the offensive standpoint because I believe he only had 4 hits in this ballgame total. And George Kirby, like I said, he went 8 innings in this ballgame. That's a complete game and a loss. So his pitch count was very low, especially when you got to the later stages of the ballgame. He was throwing like 6 pitch innings, 7 pitch innings, everything like that. He was just going out there and getting quick outs. The Phillies really had a difficult time hitting Kirby, but they got the one run where it mattered, and their pitching at the end of the day was much better than George Kirby. At the end, even though he only allowed 1 run, our pitching was better because we allowed 0. So that's where it goes at the end of the day. And like I said, there's really not that much to talk about with this game because, like I said, 4 hits. Looking at the lineup, Bryce Stott got another hit in this game, 1 for 4. Trey Turner goes 0 for 3. Kyle Schwarber goes 1 for 2 at a walk. Nick Castellanos continues to get on base. He went 1 for 3. Brandon Marsh and Alec Boehm, they go 0 for in this game. Alec Boehm had 3 strikeouts. Cody Clemens with the lone RBI in this game, 1 for 3. Edmundo Sosa goes 0 for 3, and Garrett Stubbs goes 0 for 3. You did have more chances with runners in scoring position, even though that was the later stages of the lineup. You went 0 for 2 there, left 3 runners on base, but doesn't matter there. You really didn't get that many chances regardless. Looking at the Mariners side, they went 0 for 5 with runners on, so they left 4 guys on base. Just looking at that top of the Mariners lineup, especially against Strahm in the bullpen, 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 2. And then their bottom of the lineup, the only guy that was really getting hits was Murphy. And Murphy came into this game only having 2 hits on the year. He was batting .077, and he was the one that did the most damage for the Seattle team. So if the guy that's batting .077 is doing the most damage and the rest of your guys can't do anything, you're going to have a long day at the office. You only had 3 hits in this game for Seattle. So, yeah, no wonder why they lost. No wonder at all. Let's look at this pitching, man. Matt Strahm, 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, 60 pitches. He just does his job. He goes out there, talks to himself on the mound, always criticizing himself, always wanting to do better. Goes out there and just does his thing. Throws strikes. Doesn't care about who he's facing. He's not afraid of anybody. And he just gets the job done. That's basically what he's been doing every single outing so far. He had the one hiccup in Cincinnati, but besides that, he's been basically flat out dominant to this point and has probably been the best starter consistently so far for this Phillies team. And we thank him for that. Honestly, Matt Strahm is probably looking like the biggest offseason signing so far because he's probably been the most consistent guy so far. Looking at the rest of the bullpen, Seranthony Dominguez comes in for the rest of that sixth. He gets out of that with only 8 pitches needed. Connor Brogdon, he allows a hit and strikes out 1 on 17 pitches. Gregory Soto eventually has to come in and get the job done there in the 7th inning. He pitches an inning in the 3rd. Does allow 2 walks, though, but, Castellanos with a nice diving catch there to end off the 7th. And then, a little bit of a how do you do double play in the 8th inning to basically get the job done there. So no harm, no done for Gregory Soto. And then Craig Kimbrell, dude was just lighting it up. 12 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Easy gut, something. I couldn't think of a word to say. Easy come, easy go. I guess that's the word. Look, this headband's squeezing my head. I can't even, think of crap right now. Man. This game went by really fast, though. And honestly, maybe that's the best thing. Because you got the draft later on today, you don't have to worry about stressing about a long-ass Phillies game, when it's still probably in the 8th inning of the tie ball game at like 5 runs apiece. So, hey, I don't mind it at all. I can relax for a couple of hours until we get ready for the draft. That's basically the most important thing. A lot of the cities just focus on the draft right now. They're not even paying attention to the Phillies. And hey, the Phillies got a series win. And that's the most important thing. After dropping game 1 in this series, you win the next 2. Yesterday, in comeback fashion, when you're down 3 runs, Taijuan Walker struggled in that 2nd inning. Your bullpen came in once again and shut the door down and helped your, guys get back into it. And today, basically the same thing. You get the lead, and your pitching doesn't look away from it. 1 run was only the thing they needed. And that's a really good sign. And this bullpen, man, like I said, I've been stressing about this even towards the beginning of parts of the season in spring training. Even though the bullpen did have their hiccups in the first, couple of series here, I did think over the long term, this bullpen was definitely much better built than it was last season. And I think now we're starting to see that come through. Is a bullpen going to have their hiccups over the case of a 162-game season? Yes. What bullpen doesn't? But right now, I think we're going to see a really dominant bullpen over the course of the year. And that's something Phillies fans are not used to saying. Because we've seen some pretty bad bullpens. Some historically bad bullpens. Bullpens that love to blow saves. So, it's nice to see. It's really nice to see so far. Even though there's definitely still some guys in that bullpen that I'm still lurky about. Sometimes I'm afraid of Brogdon just because he's really hit or miss. Even though he didn't have the velocity today, he was solid. He did allow that 2-out hit, but Soto basically made it, so you didn't have to worry about it. But, Brogdon's hit or miss when he doesn't have his velocity. He could be a nightmare. Kimbrell, he's been really fun to watch so far. I do think eventually he's going to hit a wall, but who knows? Who knows? He is, I think, 3 saves away from 400, so maybe he's geared up to get that. Alvarado's been amazing. Seranthony, very shaky to start the season. In the past couple of weeks, he's been really good in bouncing back. Gregory Soto, after the first couple of series, he's been really good. Then you got your, early bullpen guys, like I said, the Brogdons, the Ortizes. Eventually, Bellatti's going to come back from the injured list. And Nick Nelson's going to go back into that bullpen. Matt Strahm's eventually going to go into that bullpen. That bullpen's only going to get deeper. It's only going to get deeper from here. It's going to be really good. Dave Dombrowski had a motive. He saw what the Astros did last season, especially in the playoffs. They had a really deep bullpen. Didn't really need to rely on your starters going very deep in the ball games, even though, granted, the Phillies did get no hit and, Framber Valdez really torched them. But if you have a deep bullpen, you have a chance at anything. And if your bullpen's going out there and giving you a chance, you can win a lot of ball games. So I think we're seeing that with this bullpen right now. Only needed 1 run. Matt Strahm and the rest of the guys got the job done. And that's all that matters from there. So a good series win. Only needed 1 run. Your bullpen dominates. and it's against a team that was in the playoffs last season. So they're struggling right now. You took advantage of it. Got some momentum from yesterday's ball game, even though it didn't really carry over into the offense today. Kirby was nasty. Pitched, like I said, 8 innings. That's a complete game for a loss. 4 hits and 1 earned run allowed, 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. He only had 89 pitches. He would have pitched the 9th inning if the Mariners got the lead. Like, that's how good he was rolling at that point. But hey, you gave him the loss in the loss column. That's all that matters. So, let's look at the upcoming games. And now you're back at 500. You're back at 500. 13-13 on the season. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling because your schedule doesn't get any easier from here. Does not get any easier. You wrap up this series, and then you go down to Houston for a weekend series, World Series rematch. And it's going to be an interesting pitching, matchups. Nola versus Framber Valdez, Wheeler versus Javier, Falter versus Urquidy. So that's going to be, a huge series for guys like Nola and Wheeler. We really need to see them build some consistency off of their past starts. Wheeler with the 11-plus Ks, Nola going 7 innings. Really need to see those guys build off of that. And offensively, go in there with a little bit of a an edge on your shoulder. When to go in there and get some revenge. Take a series down there in Houston. 2 games on national television. 1 streamed on Apple TV and 1 on ESPN. Go down there. Chip on your shoulder, man. Go down there and shut up that Houston crowd. Because you know it's going to be Riley down there. And then after that Houston series, you go to face the Dodgers for 3 games. Not sure how I'm going to do the recaps for those 2 because you got 2 10 o'clock games and then a 4 o'clock on a Wednesday. And then after that Dodgers series, you get a day off on a Thursday. You're back home for 5 games, 3 against Boston, 2 against Toronto. Then you go back on the road to the West Coast again. Colorado and San Francisco, back home, yada, yada, yada. Then you eventually play the NL East again. But you got a series win. And so far, that is 3 series wins in a row, going back to the Chicago series. So after splitting the 4-game series in Cincinnati, you've won 3 series in a row so far. So that's really good to see. You won the series in Chicago, you won the 4-game series against Colorado, and you won this 3-game set against Seattle. So that's really good to see. And so far, I would say in your last 9 games, you are 7-3. Or your last 10 games, actually, you're 7-3. I was going to say 9 games, 7-3. That doesn't make sense. Your last 10, you're 7-3. So you're working your way back up there, getting the 500. You're playing a lot better baseball. I think that's the most important thing, especially with this bullpen helping out a lot. So it's good to see. It really is. It definitely is. We did get some update on Taijuan Walker again. Rob Thompson said that he does not need an MRI, and he should be able to make his next start against the Dodgers. So that's good to hear there. Definitely. I believe there was something else on Craig Kimbrell that I wanted to say. So, if you want to know how dominant Craig Kimbrell has been, so he gets the 1-2-3 inning for the save today. This is from Corey Seidman. He's retired 15 of the last 16 hitters he's faced with 8 strikeouts. So that's how good Craig Kimbrell is going for you right now. It's very fun to watch. Very fun. I want to see if there's anything else here from today. Anything else from Rob Thompson? Want to see if there's anything else here. I don't think there is. Jason Stark said that the Phillies and the Mariners just played a 9-inning game in 2 hours and 4 minutes, the fastest 9-inning game at Citizens Bank Park since a Padres-Phillies game in June of 2010. That one was 2 hours and 2 minutes with Jamie Moyer on the mound. My God. The only other game faster than this one was 2006, which was also 2 hours and 2 minutes. So this was a very fast game. Very fast game. So hey. Sometimes I think today was a good timing for a really quick game. Like I said, with the draft coming up tonight. I think that was the most important thing there to see. So yeah. Really not much else to talk about this game. You looked at the upcoming schedule and everything like that. Really don't have much going for anytime hotline calls today. It's the middle of the afternoon. People are still at work, and then they're going to be gearing for the draft tonight. Let's look at the standings real quickly just to see how much you improved there. If they would load. It'd be very nice to see if they loaded. So after this win, you're 4.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves, who are still in first. They are 17-18. You're a game and a half behind the Mets, who are 14-11. They have lost 4 games in a row. You're a half game above the Miami Marlins, who are 12-13. I believe they are playing right now. So, yeah, 7-3 in your last 10 games. You're probably the hottest team in the NL East right now. So just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. I'm looking at some of these other teams in the league. The Pittsburgh Pirates, they're 18-8. Are the Pittsburgh Pirates for real? Are they for real? Because they just keep on winning. Brewers are 16-9. The Cardinals are 9-16. Man, they've had it rough. Rough. Diamondbacks are 14-12. The NL West, a lot of teams that are at 500. Dodgers are at 500. Padres are at 500. Diamondbacks are 2 games above 500. No team's looking, running away with that division right now. In the AL, the Tampa Bay Rays, they're 20-5. So, they've been slumping a little bit, but overall, they are still a really good team. Baltimore, they're 16-8. Toronto, 16-9. Yankees are 14-11. The Boston Red Sox are 13-13. So no team is below 500 in that division. The Central, the Twins are 14-11. The Guardians are 12-13. And then the rest of the teams in that division, oh my God, they're all below 500. Detroit Tigers are terrible, 9-14. Chicago White Sox are 7-18. And the Royals are 6-19. My God. In the West, Texas Rangers, after sweeping the Phillies, they're 14-10 on the year. So they've lost 3 in a row. I believe they got swept by the Reds, so that's an ugly look. But they lead the division. Probably won't be for long with the Astros there. Astros, they're 14-11. They did come off of a sweep of the Atlanta Braves, I believe. So they've been playing a lot better as of late to their slow start. Los Angeles Angels, they're 13-12. Mariners are 11-14. And the Oakland Athletics, soon to be the Las Vegas Athletics most likely, are a measly 5-20. So yeah, everything is not going well in Oakland again. With all the news talking about, they already bought land in Vegas to build a stadium there. Not shocked. Not shocked at all. Definitely not. So, I think that's pretty much going to do it for everything here today. We'll be back later tonight to recap the NFL draft, first round for the Eagles, see what Howie Roseman does with that 10th and 30th pick. Expecting some big things. Maybe the Eagles trade up. Maybe they make a big trade in the first round. Want to see what they do. I'm looking at Jalen Carter, if they go and get him. There's a lot of interesting things. Bijan Robinson and all that stuff is being talked about. Let's just see what happens there. So, let's see. Let's see what happens. I do see some of you guys. I see you, Scott, there. How you doing? Good luck to the Eagles in the draft. Go Dolphins. Well, let's see. Let's hope both of our teams fare well in this draft. Do the Dolphins have a first-round pick, Scott? Do they? I have no idea. But, yeah, like I said, later on, we'll have a recap of the first round of the draft. Definitely later tonight. So, stay tuned for that. Also, do not forget, leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to see those as always. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to check out everything in the description down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Hit that subscribe button. Join the family. Do a lot of good. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thank you once again for everyone for joining so far. I'll see you later tonight after the first round of the draft. I'll see you then.